And welcome back to my YouTube. I'm ALANCOOK, the proud owner of the Midion painting, which is... boom! There you go. Midion actually stands for best boyfriend in the whole wide world. If you want to know right off the fact if he was gay, the answer is yes. Does it matter? No. Was he beautiful in his paintings? Yes. Was he extremely talented and smart and wise and a good heart? Yes. Was there a lot more to this than I can say? Absolutely. How do you describe love? How do you describe God? How do you describe your feelings? And how do you describe a passion? Well, I had a passion, and I made a book called Passion of Love, and that's what I had. I had a passion to continue to work on this nearly 7 years to find out what was inside the Mona Lisa. The Mona Lisa is this woman right here. This is the Mona Lisa. And he knew how she would grow and what she would look like in the future. How? He's genius. I don't know. He just knew. Maybe he continued with his painting throughout the years, because this is a diary. This is a diary of his entire life in this. I've gotten documents out of this thing, writings, rest in peace. It was been signed after his passing. Now let me just kind of go over to the side here and let me show you the Mona. Okay, this is the Mona. Single portrait, a young child. Would you agree? I would agree she's a child. Age? Estimate. 14 to 17 years old? 21 maybe? Maybe? Okay. And this woman here, let's say 55? 45, 55? Good 60? I know some actors and actresses that don't even look nearly that, and they can't believe it. Of course, plastic surgery, but then again, maybe the plastic surgery is with the paint. Maybe he dolled her up. You know, beauty's in the eyes of the beholder. Okay, and if you want to see her, look at that face. Okay, it's not only a mother can love. Okay, nice smile, friendly, a person that you would invite to a party, a person that seems to be of some kind of statue. Now let me show you a marking in here that the world cannot dispute. It is a symbol that is in the Mona Lisa, and here it is. That is absolutely there. You see that? I call it a skull, but I had no idea what it really represents. And I still don't, except for that I know it is of my painting, is in there. And I'm going to show you. So don't forget to subscribe, and don't forget to pass it on to your friends. Now, this particular one, I'm going to shrink back down, back into the beauty queen of queens, the #1 single portrait of the world. Mine I consider to be the most famous painting in the world as a duet. Okay, so let's get into taking this. Now, let me show you this painting here is of that skull. It's the upper section. I'll show you more of it in a second. But if I take my painting and I overlay it, you can see how she fits within the stars. See how the stars fit in her arms? How they light up? Now, don't you remember how to connect the stars? Now you can also see how there's other outlines. Well, the reason is because when she moves across the room, she fits in the other areas of the stars and lights up. Look at her arm, how it lines up in the lines in her hand. See? So her finger's got the bend, and it actually shows the finger bends right in there. For me to blow it up, it gets into more. Now, this image that you're looking at, this particular image right here, would be 4 grains of sand maybe. That is blown up that big. Now, how could he do that? Well, I have a theory, and my theory is that if you took a pair of binoculars and you turned them the opposite way, instead of seeing things closer, you see them farther away. So if you took diamonds and crystals of dust and you flipped them in the right projection area for distance, and you knew which way it was going to project, you would end up with your items even smaller. So you can have one diamond crystal laid in the right spot that shoots in the certain areas of your shot, and it's going to project into that image that you know that it is because of the angle that you have made it or wanted it to be. It's a theory, but it's a logical theory if you can do it right. And he knew extremely wealthy people, and he got his crystals and chemicals all free. So if you actually take one particular item and you ended up with multiplying it 10 times to 200 times its fold, that's a lot of images. But there's also a lot more images that I'm going to give you on some numbers. Now, this is what I call the wedding day. This is where it's going to get even funner. If you actually look, there's individuals. This is like a magnificent Liz Taylor, and here's his face here, and his arm comes across. Here's a fat face with a hat, and here's a bird. And I call it the wedding day. Now, this whole image here is on her dress, and I would say it's definitely not even bigger than a grain of sand. I'd be shocked if it's as big as a grain of sand, that image. How he did it again? My theory. Now, when you put this on up here, you can see how he lines up within the lines of those images where they project. Okay. You can also take this and scoot this to right here, and then take this image and scoot it to within its reason, and you can line this image up. Okay, again, another match that follows. Now you see the skull? Okay, if you see how this rounds and this rounds, watch. And then to get it to go across the room, you see how this is? Not only does it fit, this piece fit right in here in this circle. Watch. You see this line circle and this piece? This is the round circle and piece. Now that's a big stamp of original. But if you slide it across, it also fits in here greatly in this circle. Leonardo da Vinci's paintings is a flip book. I've been trying to explain. I have over 200 YouTubes, and the Google and YouTube is really kicking them to be going in the right area now. And they're being listed under good educational units. There's 3 of them today that popped up, and I'm numbering them. This one's going to be number 84. I'm going to call it The Skull of the Wedding Day. And something of that sort. And if I take this particular image, not that image, this image, and I move this back up here, and then I take this image of mine, and I lay it right in here, he fits. And she fits. If you actually see her face right here, watch, I'll take it down. you can see her face in here. And I take it and I put it right back. See? I move it just a shade and she fits. Eyeballs and all, 100%. Her hand lines up 100%. His face fits within. I could start him clear over here, and you can see how he matches with his nose and his stars, and he moves all the way across. Why? A flip book. Look up what a flip book is in the old days. When you turned the pages, it ended up with being a movie out of paper. I don't know if that's terminology, but that's the way I remember it to be. Cowboys used to take and crank a handle in a box, and they used to watch a movie. I think it was dirty movies back then, but because it got their interest of beautiful art, and sexual art like that was something. But some people call it something else. So it depends on how you express your feelings, how you express your words, what your meaning was, what your intent was. And his intent was to show that he loved the Mona. And he was obsessed beyond the limits of all you can dream of the Mona. Now that's another right here. Now I got Wedding Day and I got that particular. Now this is in the Mona. Now this is in mine. Okay? And this is the turn. Okay? This is the turn of my man's body. He's turned this way and his shaw is here. So you turn it 90 and there he is on an x-ray. There's the Mona. Look at her face. Here's the Mona in my painting. Here's her nose. Here's her slip of her body. And she actually fits in here also. Okay? That's the way he is. If you put him across, he was obsessed with her. Now, you can reduce this, but there's not going to need to be, but because I do believe I have it set up in the large version of his. And it's in here. I really tried hard for you. I spent all day for this, so please stay with me. If so, you can even rewind it and watch this again and pass it to a friend. Now look at that. See how she fits in the hole and how she lines up? Okay, now you can, if you get, sometimes you get this exactly in its order, you'll see the markings. Now, you see this particular area here? It's right here. It even gets larger. This is right here. Gets larger. It's not there now because it gets pixelized. If I pixelize this to get that large, and I go and try to get it in there, it might still not be large enough. I might be wrong. I thought I tried it. Maybe I should be a little bit on top of my game, but see how she fits? She fits right in that same turn. See? The same. So, my apology. Maybe I opened this one up and it pixelized to where it was out of shape. But there you go. It's the twin. And the purpose, you can see how there seems to be a pointy hat here. Here's the pointy hat. And the pointy hat actually resembles a Hemin. And a Hemin so happened to be of a diva woman back in that time. And they used to dress up as women and went to their parties. So we have done the exam of the skull on Wedding Day. We have done the showing of the Midion. We have done the Wedding Day itself. And there they are. Okay. Now you can also turn this. It's going to come. That's a whole nother story. I could, if I can get the clarity just in here, I could spend a month on just telling you YouTubes. And I got like another 70 YouTubes to load up after this one, which I still haven't been able to do for over a month. I've been doing YouTubes like crazy, but I didn't start counting my YouTubes in numbers until I hit 150, I think. So we have a thing for the world to know. The greatest painting on the planet is the lost painting of Midian, the greatest. It's a story, okay? It's the story is what it is. See, Melzi Francisca lived with him till 1519, till the day he died. Salih Andre left 1518, this way it reads, and took the Mona with him. But there's the other Mona of his life. My belief is many little issues that I did not list in here that is a hypothesis of his whole life is in this painting, because this painting may have started with the dates that's in it from the moment he picked up a brush until the day he put down the brush, and he was allowed to take this painting because it was one that all of his loved ones worked on, that he worked on and taught him. And I'm not 100% certain on that. I'm 99.9% though. But I am positive it's a Leonardo da Vinci painting, and I am positive that that is the Mona Lisa, and I am positive that it is the greatest painting on the planet as a duet, and I am positive Leonardo da Vinci was extremely smart, as well as that he had a magnificent heart, and that he's still a great teacher. He's teaching me now. He's still teaching me. And that's what I am very, very, very happy about. To teach is a blessing, because it's an art. And I'm hoping that I can teach you guys that there's more to life than just looking at a tree. Because there's trees out there that I can tell you. I'll give you an example. I'm hoping that it's in there. I don't know if I did. Let me see if I can do it. I always do this to you guys, and my apology, but let's see if there's a tree in here that I had put to the side to give you guys some input of future I thought I put a tree out here. Making me look bad. Alan jumping to a tree that has great ability for you to see, and can't believe the tree ain't in here. I could have swore I put the tree in here. Excuse me. Wow. Whoa, I'm overloaded. Boom, 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 boom. Okay. Makes a liar out of me. Alright, well. That's not a tree, but let me give you an example out of this. Okay? Let's say this is the main branch. And you got your trunk, and here you got your branch that runs across. And you have your little leaf. And if you looked at that leaf, it'd be a little man. And then on the tip of that may be the head of the man. Or off to the little branch, the arm. And if you look in between the tree, where there's sky, we'll pretend the black is sky, okay? That symbol, if you add up that symbol by using the color, also you have a little eye and a big eye, and you have an oblong face. Then you use that branch or that other big leaf that's right here of the body, and that body right there is the nose. So the green is the tree, okay? Let's say the green is the tree. But the sky gives the shade of the flush of the body, or vice versa, whatever which way works. And that's the way he puts his art. And by the way, this particular piece right here actually comes out to say, okay, this is an upside down 9, okay, and this is a 5, and at a certain part where you drop this off, it's a 1, 5, and it's a 1, 9, and here's a 1 in here, so it's 1519. That's the year he died. And here is a 2. This is in code. You have to really learn his code. And this actually stands for May. That's an M. And that's an A that runs this way. And this is a Y. Here's the Y right here. And it runs down. Okay, when did he die? May 2nd, 1519. Now, without me getting into something more, because it takes a little bit, it's been 5 years before I deciphered that. It actually says 1452, okay? And it has the April 15th in there, okay? And that's his birth date. And also written in here says RNP and PNR. And it actually stands for rest in peace. And then it's also signed, okay? Here's an N right there, and here's like a DP, and it's done all in code. See? And when you see something that doesn't look like the exact unit of what you're looking for, you have to integrate the other colors next to it, because his whites may be all whites until you get to the last white, and it's the flaming Mona Lisa. For example, the flaming Mona Lisa is this one. That's the flaming Mona Lisa. This particular piece is located, and that is located right here. I'll show you on my man. Right there. That little fishy looking thing, when it's blown up, is the flaming Mona Lisa. Okay, now we're back to square one, and I apologize I didn't jump right into the tree, but I guess that May 2nd, 1519 did help. It was a little time lost there, and but I hope you still enjoyed it. Please give me a thumbs up. Please pass it on to your friends. The more people you pass it on, the more I will be able to receive funds from YouTube and continue on with my work to try to educate the world on his works. None of this stuff has been altered in any way for deception. This is the true blue, just dealing with Photoshop and I actually had Photoshop take control of my computer for 4 hours about 5 years ago, and they said it's the only computer picture in which they weren't able to go into the depth of the numbers to calculate exactly the locations. I sent these two, I sent over $350 each documents to one of the two major auction houses in the world. One of them lost it, which I figured, boy, I don't want to deal with a company that can lose your product. And then the other one was dealing with a lawsuit regarding La Bella Principessa, and overhearing that I owned a Leonardo da Vinci painting, probably assumed I was a lawyer and private investigator, and that I had was trying to get information out of them for court. I don't know, because to have a Leonardo da Vinci painting and claim that you have one is extremely difficult to prove. It's like having a raw hot iron in your hands for the rest of your life until the day you die, and then 25 years later somebody says, my God, that guy had one, and he wrote a book. And that's me right now. I wrote a book, I have one, it's there, I'll prove it to anybody. I'm also trying to know how to get a hold of George Lucas, because I did so much buying, I have his personal company tapes. I tried getting a hold of his lawyers, his executives, everyone. And I was hoping he would help me on some of the photo imaging, and I think I have 100 of his tapes. 50 maybe, you know, maybe I'm putting the number up, but they're big tapes. They're not regular VCR tapes. They're almost twice as big. They're thick, pretty thick, and they have about the companies he owned. And they're very interesting, and I was going to YouTube them, but I don't know if he would be mad, and I've really been hanging on to them, I think, for at least 8-10 years. I think I've been having them, maybe 10 years. Time flies, you know. And so if anybody knows, I'm going to give you my contact number and my email, and my email is Midionpassion@gmail.com, and that's MIDIONPASSION at gmail.com, or you can reach me at my other company name, which is Camaro Land, and my email is Camaro, like the car, land, man, 77777 at gmail.com. I have Camaros for sale, and I'm going to use that to fund me. I'm going to do a GoFundMe page, and I'm hoping that GoFundMe page, actually somebody would step up with big bucks, or somebody with some powerful people that are able to donate money, or educate me on doing a more proper YouTube, and it would be wonderful. I'm an amateur. I don't know how to do anything besides cropping and then just showing.